So guys, welcome back to another video. We're down on the South Downs in Sussex again today. We're up near the Folly, which is down near Slindon in the South Downs, pretty much just between Chichester and Arundel, just north of the 27 down here. And as you can see behind me, we get some absolutely stunning views from here across the low landscape down towards the sea of Bognor Regis and Selsey. I'll do something a little bit different today. I'm shooting this in HLG 3 SONY RX100m7 just to see how it differs from just shooting in the standard video mode on this camera. The plan is today we're going to head up to the track up here past the Folly. I'll give you a little shot of that as we go past, and then we're going to venture into the woods over the back here, just see if we can find any mushrooms, small little ones down on the ground, to take some photos under the canopy. And I'm going to use my little LED light to try and illuminate those up. So that's the plan. We'll see if there's anything left this time of year. So let's get going. So if you do venture up here, the Folly, which is behind here, was built in the 18th century from a family that was local to here. There's not much else here at all, just a gateway from here. So as far as to my knowledge, there was nothing else here. It was just taken on Italian architecture at the time and just used, I guess, as a status symbol for the family, as it does overlook, swinging around most of Sussex here, and it's quite visible right the way across. We're having a little bit of an experiment today as we're walking through. I've got this set on the Sony's HLG 3 picture profile setting. I've not used it before, so I'm going to be intrigued to see how this comes out. I've exposed the highlights on there, as I believe that's what you're supposed to do. So it's a real experiment today. I've got this mounted on the Manfrotto Pixie, which is just put onto this small rig cage, which I'll put a link into the description up here so you can see what I'm using on there. And it is great, it gives you a little bit more of a hand grip on the actual camera itself. It just gives you the ability to attach a hot shoe onto two parts of it, which gives you a few more options, I guess, on there. So this is just all handheld today. I've got the gimbal in the bag, but I'm just going to try and test it out. There's a bit limited on time to see how this handles with the active steady shot on there. So we're going to head down through the woods here. Do a few lovely leaves around. They haven't all quite fallen off yet, and what I'm going to be looking for mostly is small mushrooms that are just embedded down in the undergrowth, and try and get some the shots of those. So far struggling to find some mushrooms down in the woods here, although there's a little spot over the back here which I've always found some before. So we just found a small set of mushrooms just down here. What I've done is I've set the camera up at ISO 100, set the shutter speed just to put the histogram in the right place. I just used it on f2.8 on this camera. Get up really nicely. As you can see, I've been here far too long because the dog's having a good old whinge. So what I'm using is this Amaran LED light to illuminate the actual mushroom down on the ground here. So I think it's great with the light is it actually throws up the shadows underneath the mushroom, so it brings out the detail in it. Come down into the forest where I normally see loads of mushrooms down here. Looking a bit sparse today, so a lot of the leaves have gone off the trees, but we're going to have a little scout around now just to see if we can actually find something. here to take a photograph of. Not a lot of light today either, so even the light rays coming down through the trees today, it's starting to break through, so you'll keep your fingers crossed, you never know. But otherwise we're just going to have a scout around on the forest floor here, and let's see if we can find something to get a nice photograph of. So I just found a very, very small one down here, which is 2 little mushrooms, and it's got a little bit of moss behind it. So I'm going to give this one a go. Again, I could use the LED light. I'm going to take the camera right off a tripod and actually lay it onto the ground, just so you get that real feeling of being down low, which gives the mushrooms a feeling of being quite big on there. So the brown leaves in the foreground, the mushrooms in the green. We'll see if that comes out with the LED light illuminating it on there. So I'll take that now. So I can't show you what I'm doing because I'm just on one camera. So I'll show you the image now. If you do know a way that you can change this picture profile over, or even save it into the video mode, that would be a huge help, I think, because every time I flick from video back to photo again, I'm having to rechange the picture profile from HLG back to standard again, which is a bit of a pain. That I can't believe there's not a setting so that you can flick it into video mode and it automatically picks that up for you. So if you do know a way, stick it in the comments below, because I think it'll help me out quite a bit when using this little camera. Been thorned. So the last little bit back here where we've just been through, there's just so many leaves that have fallen down. There's just no mushrooms in there whatsoever. Up here it's a bit more of, I suppose you class it as a bit more of a pine forest. So we're going to trudge into there and just see if we can find any, I think, good lowdown in there to photograph. As you can see in here, it's still quite a lot of tree coverage, and down on the grass is this beautiful green carpet, which I think is always fab in these sort of woodland areas. You might be the one that truly I wasn't quite sure about this camera when I first picked it up. It was quite small, and coming from Canon, the menu systems on these Sonys can be a little bit hard to get your head around. The way I've got around it is just to use it in the custom menu settings. Is I put all the bits that I use all the time, especially when filming. Now I've got the file settings, so in 4K I've got it set at 24p, and if I change it out of 4K it defaults back to the HD settings that I'm using, which at today is mostly 60. So all that I've got to do is then just adjust the filter on the front and the shutter speed, which is quite simple. So it's quite an easy way of flicking backwards and forwards. And what I do love about it is just such a light setup. Sitting on this Manfrotto Pixie, got the microphone, as I say, on the side, and it's just a very simple solution for just getting out and vlogging. ESR's been in the menders for the last week or so because the touchscreen on it decided to give up the ghost, which was a bit unfortunate. So I've been sort of limited to using this camera, which in hindsight it's actually done quite well because it's forced me to go out, take photos, shoot video, whereas normally I'd have probably relied on the ESR for doing it. And in doing that, I've got to know it a lot better, and it's actually quite a cracking little camera for vlogging, for video, and even for photos. On now, I tend to shoot them in RAW, which I do everything anyway, and adjust them back into Lightroom. But I put a few photos up so you can see some of the images that have been shot on this camera. But the images that do come out are really good for this 20 megapixel camera. So I'm not going to go into a full depth review on this camera because there's plenty of reviews out there, but as a real world review, this is pretty much my thoughts on it up until now. Battery life, which I think I commented on one of the first videos. May not be the best, but they're such small batteries, and you can get batteries off the internet for a lot cheaper than what the Sony ones go for. So if you're interested, I'll put a link up here to the ones that I use, and I don't tend, to be honest, notice any difference from the ones or the performance from Sony and the ones above, which is what's in the camera at the moment. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the active steady shot. It's holding it up manually without a gimbal day, just on this Manfrotto Pixie. It's picking up my eye the whole time, which is really great, so you know you haven't got to worry about the focus aspects on here. So that's it from this quick video, guys. I've been testing out the HLG3, as you say. So as I said earlier, put your tips down in the comments for me if you know the best way of exposing this. So I'm new to Sony, so this is completely trial and error today on shooting this. We've managed to get a few mushrooms up there with the camera, not as much as I hoped. So, but that's just photography. Sometimes it's just a case of get out there and see what you can get, and just generally get out and enjoy the landscape, really. That's what it's all about. That's it from me, as I say. Put any comments down below for me and I'll try and answer them. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you up in the next one, so take care.